Somebody asked, would you stay with someone who cheated more than once?
Oh.
I wish I could see your face right now.
I know. It's always written all over my face. I kind of jump back like, what? Not more than once. Like, I wouldn't. So you have to ask yourself, though, like, what made you stay after the first time? What are some boundaries you're going to set so that keyword boundaries here? What are some boundaries you would set so that, like, the thing is, you can't control anyone else. So if someone's going to cheat, they're going to cheat, and that's their own insecurities, situation, their own thing that they're dealing with. So you have to question yourself, like, okay, is this okay? Is this what I'm willing to tolerate? Again, like, what are some things, some boundaries that we could set in place so that this won't happen again? But again, you can't control someone else. So it's kind of a tough question. But if you forgave them once, I just say go down that stream of thought and wonder, well, why did I forgive them the first time? What'll happen if they do this again? What'll happen if they do this 5 times? Or what is your breaking point? I ask ladies all the time, what is your breaking point? Because so many people will tolerate so much. But at what point do you say, and that doesn't even have to be because you didn't say if it was a man or a woman. So just to anyone, what is your breaking point in a relationship? Write down your deal breakers. If it's cheating and you decide to stay, then in a way, you're not upholding your own boundary, your own standards, and your own self-respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that last part. I don't know. I mean, for me, absolutely fucking not.
Hell no.
No,
I'm proud of
way.
you.
No way. Like, no way. I mean, nobody deserves to get treated that way. Sorry. No. And it's like, fool me once, shame on me. But not really cheating, but it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This is not to shame anybody. And I feel like we've done so many episodes on like relationships, and people have different circumstances, and people are willing to tolerate different things, I think, because of those circumstances. And it could be like your age and where you are in life. You know, if somebody is 60 and their husband has cheated on them twice and they've been together for 40 years, 35 years, like, do they want to start over, or do they want to figure out? That's totally different than if you're 30 or even 40, you know, like, so it's so hard without context. And also financial, you know, if you're financially dependent on your partner, like, and you don't have the means to break up, or it's going to be really hard, and kids, like, so many variables, but nobody deserves that, in my opinion. And I think back to Dr. Delaney, who everybody loved, John Delaney, when he was on my podcast, and we were talking about cheating. And he was talking about how, like, if you're going to stay with somebody who cheats, you can't go back to how it was. So you have to build something completely new together. And like, is each party willing to build something new? And he also talked about setting that boundary, Ashley, in the beginning of the relationship, or wherever you are in the relationship. If you haven't had the conversation, he was like, have the conversation with your partner. And I actually talked to Chris about this, not like in a like tough way. We were just, I don't remember what we were talking about. I think we were talking about cheating. And I was like, and we talked about it, like, would we stay with each other if we cheated? And he was like, no. And I was like, no. And then another thing Dr. Delaney said to do is to establish what is cheating, because that's different for everybody too. Like, cheating for me might be like full-blown sex, you know, whereas for somebody else, it might be like kissing. I mean, I was talking to Chris about this, and I go, what is cheating for you? And he's like, I don't know, like a dinner with somebody. And I was like, what?
You're like, wait a minute.
So I think that's so important too in a relationship, to like establish not just like what would happen if one of us cheated, but like what even is cheating. Yeah. But I remember when Dr. Delaney asked me that question in that podcast, and he said, would you stay with your partner if he cheated? And I was like, hell no. And he was like, really? And he was kind of surprised, Dr. Delaney. He's like, well, that's good. That's good that you know that about yourself. But I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I guess it made me question myself, but I know like I would have a really, really, really hard time getting over that. And at the same time, I mean, look, it's not good, like betraying somebody's trust and all of that. But I feel like we vilify it and people who do it to like the nth degree. And people have been doing it since the beginning of time. Like, so I don't know. I think sometimes like we get a little bit on our high horse. And then when we're actually in that situation, like if we have been cheated on, then, you know, we find ways to forgive and we do want to try to work on it or things like that. But I do really think that, like, for me, it would be an absolutely not goodbye.